This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
All right. So it is 6:05 p.m. and we can call this to order for the night. I do need to remind everybody that the meeting is being recorded. And we can start. All right. So free time, open to the public. If anybody has anything that they would like to bring up that is not on our scheduled or not part of the agenda.
Hi, my name is Greg Mack.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yep, we can hear you.
I'm at 5 Coolidge Drive, and back in September 24th, I submitted everything for a building permit. And about 2 days after that, I received a notice from the commission saying you are possibly in a wetland area. Since it was after the building permit was issued, I just kind of assumed it was a mistake, which is my mistake. A couple of weeks after. So I'm just doing this with friends and an ex-contractor. And we got a couple of weeks into the project, and I received another letter saying, hey, you need to stop working. So I did that immediately. And then I've just tried reaching out a few different times, which I appreciate everyone's help that I have reached out to. I guess my thing is 15 years ago when I built my house, I spent about a year with conservation and heritage surveys, getting everything in the permits and surveying whatnot to build the house. Now the deck that I had was beyond repair. I wanted to expand it a little and then add to it a little 3-season area, which is off the ground. It's an exposed basement. So this room is 8 feet off the ground. I have one footing that's about the same distance to the wetland as the corner of the house. And that's where I guess I'm just kind of asking. So right now, long story short, is I have a lot of exposed wood and siding taken off my house that I would like to continue the project, knowing that I've done all this surveying and wetland delineation in the past, and didn't know if that's something the commission could give approval. I understand I'm on the Parks Commission. I understand the process that's involved. I spent 20 years working running Longmeadow Country Club, so I get the point of the commission and not obstructing the ground. But the only obstruction and change to the ground itself was 4 footings. Everything else it hasn't been touched. I'm just hoping because I received the permit, I could continue to at least make it weatherproof, where right now I have a lot of exposed wood that's going to go bad. I'm trying to keep it covered with tarps and whatnot until I can get approval. I don't want to continue and go around people by any means. So that's why I'm here kind of taking up your guys' time.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and Greg and I talked last Thursday. This came up, so I had reached out to George. George and I emailed back and forth. This is just for the rest of the members of the Concom to be aware of the communication that's already happened. George and I talked. I understand the history of what's been happening with this project. It's my understanding, though, that while Thursday, to get on the agenda Thursday would have been okay for the 48 hours open meeting laws. Unfortunately, for an RDA, it needs 5. And George, you can correct my definition here, please. But to discuss an RDA at a public hearing, you need 5 business days for the legal ad?
Yes.
Okay. And Greg, that was the, I guess, the hang up of getting this officially on this meeting. So I apologize for that. And I also have been getting a little bit more educated on the process that the building inspector takes with building permits and how it relates to, any projects that are within the buffer of wetlands. Because I mean, quite frankly, I agree. Like, if you don't know any better and you get a building permit, you would assume that it is safe to assume that you could just continue. So I completely understand the confusion within that. I think so. Knowing that we can't officially talk about or discuss the RDA, issue an RDA until the November meeting, which is 14 days from today. I am wondering the work that you've done now, if you are just replacing siding, like if it's the siding that's opened up, if you're just replacing siding, and George, I'm going to lean on you here a little bit. If you are just replacing siding, you should be able to do that without the permit because it is non-structural, correct?
You don't need the permit because there's no land disturbance.
So the only thing that would need the permit are the footings themselves?
Mhm.
Yes. And if the applicant or potential applicant has a plan, which I've asked for twice, to actually determine if in fact you're in jurisdiction, we can make that, I can make that determination, but I haven't seen any plans.
There is no plan from an architect. This is being done by myself and, a friend of mine that was a contractor.
Greg,
You just said you had a survey of wetlands.
if you take here, I'll jump in here. Greg, if the survey that you had previously done when you built the home, if you could take that and a copy of that and superimpose the planned change that you're doing with some measurements, I think that would at least get this process started and give George a better idea. And then we can, George will be able to determine whether or not this qualifies for an RDA or anything. So does that sound like a good next step for you?
Yeah, I had all that stuff available. I actually didn't realize this. You met by Zoom. I was heading over to the town hall to hand out all of this stuff. I have countless books and things from heritage surveys of every
Got it.
every wetland delineation and intermittent brooks and all of that stuff that I would think would satisfy the group. Obviously, it's much harder to show you over a Zoom what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's why I was hoping to meet in person and hoping not to have to wait 2 more weeks to get it's not just exposed siding. There's the decking with plywood is down, and that's the biggest issue, is that getting wet.
Okay. Yeah, I guess George, you are in the office tomorrow.
Yes.
What time do you arrive and leave generally?
I'm in the office at 7 a.m. I have a pre-construction meeting from 8 to 9, and then I'll with site inspection to do after that. I should be back in the office by 9:30.
If I was there at 7 o'clock, would that be okay?
Yes, and I will be there until about 12:30.
Okay.
Okay, great.
And I don't want to take up any more of your time. If I was to bring this stuff, is that something, George, that you could say, okay, this is doable, or do I still, do I have to have an RDA, or is it something that this group can just say, hey, listen, it's a very minor project. It's not interfering with wetlands. Just continue.
I I can make the determination if you're within jurisdiction, and I can recommend a permit if required. It's up to the commission to decide if that permit is sufficient or you need a more involved permit. From what I've seen so far, an RDA permit, if required, should be able to suffice.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Greg. I know I had high hopes last Thursday that we could make something happen in time, but the legal ad 5 days prior was kind of the hang up. So
Yep,
thanks
understood.
for your understanding on that.
And thank you all for your time. And George, I'll see you at 7 tomorrow.
Very well.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Okay. Anything else for and is there anybody else that would like to speak during the open time for the public? Okay, great. So tonight, there's 3 public hearings, and there's 2 that are continued. The order that we have these is 68 College Highway first, but I was hoping.
You can take them in any order, Evan.
Yeah, well, I'm going off the public agenda, right? The second one on the list was one that I was hoping to tackle first. I don't know if Barry or Mark are on this call.
Barry is.
Okay. So I just want to let the commission know that I spent a little bit more time looking at the project and the site. And I think because my thought is that because the leach field is further away from that steep hill and the wetlands area, that George's second, let me go to that we don't need an NOI, but the RDA be issued with the conditions that George had outlined.
Hi, Evan. I'm sorry, I was muted before. Can you hear me now?
I can, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, not a problem. Barry, I talked with Mark over email a little bit. So I don't know if I think
I'm on here too.
Oh, hey, Mark, there you are.
I'm under owner. I changed
okay.
it to Mark, but for some reason it didn't go through. Sorry about that.
No, all good. So I know that George did it. Thank you, George, for doing all the research into the Wetland Act and some of the the finer details within that are on what's grandfathered in and what's not. Did anybody on the commission have any questions on this one?
I do have a little bit of an update also, if you care to hear it. I reached out to Mark Stimson from the DEP and also the wetland scientist. And it was interesting. He did say that, Mr. Stimson did say that a septic repair is exempt from the riverfront, unless you're expanding the bedrooms. In other words, if you're going from 3 bedrooms to 4, that would be needing to meet new construction standards. It would be an upgrade, and sort of all bets are off in that scenario. But in our case here, it's existing 4 bedrooms and it's going to stay 4 bedrooms. So yeah, just thought you might want to know that.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you, Hazel. All those in favor, Hazel?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Aye.
Okay, thanks. So with some of the information that I had seen, I would like to make a motion to issue an RDA with no NOI required, following the conditions that George outlined in his original agent's report.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor, Kathleen?
Aye.
Hazel?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
And aye. All right, thanks all. Before we move on to the next public hearing, I forgot to ask, Nicole, are you taking notes?
Yeah. Yep.
Great, thank you. Okay.
May I ask a question? Where do I go from here? I guess I have no idea what the next steps are or anything like that.
Evan, if I may.
Yeah, George, please.
I have to generate the permit and the stipulations, and I'll be reaching out to you when I have them all ready to ask you, do you want me to mail them or do you want to pick them up? And that actually is a kind of big deal for me because if I mail them, it has to go certified mail.
I'll pick them up. I'll be glad to pick them up.
Then I will let you know when it's ready, and when you come in to get it, we'll go over all the steps that I quote next.
Okay, that works for me. How long do you think that will take before I hear back then?
Depends on my meetings tomorrow, but I should definitely have it by Thursday.
Okay. All right. Thank you, George.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks, Mark.
And thank you. Too.
Thanks, Barry. So 68 next on 3.1 on the agenda tonight, excuse me, is 68 College Highway. It's a septic system at the house there. Is anybody on the call? Oh. Hello again. All right, Barry, you're up.
Yep. This is a repair to an existing system that was in failure. They failed the Title V, and I prepared a plan and submitted that digitally as well as hard copies. I believe, Kristen, you brought them into the office, the hard copies. We have Kristen Brodeur here.
Hi, yes, I dropped them off, Barry. I dropped them off last week, 2 hard copies.
Kristen, please identify yourself for a minute.
I'm Kristen Broder. I work with Taylor Real Estate and the trustees of 68 College Highway I represent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to try to get this plan where it says share.
The
But
members have received a copy of the plan.
Yeah, Barry, we can, if all the commission members are able to pull that up, we can just follow along as you talk through it.
okay, because again, like last time, I cannot get it onto the screen here, so
Yeah.
I can't do a pointer type of thing. But so
Oh, good.
I've got it up on my device. So just I found it. It was emailed out, so I found it, so I can follow along.
can you do a cursor thing on it or no?
So I'm actually using 2 devices. So
I'll just talk through it.
I think Barry, my earlier point was just that I think we all have it. So if you want to we can all look at it, just kind of talk through the.
All right. So if you see where the house is on the left corner,
Yep.
leftmost corner, you see the dotted line going out to the existing septic tank. That's actually situated inside of the 50-foot setback from the wetland. Our proposal is to pump that out of its contents, crush it and fill it in place and leave it be. And then you'll see a solid line coming out from that same point of the house going down the hill with a box with 3 little circles on it. That's the new 1,500-gallon septic tank. I pushed it down the hill like that because the sewer pipe comes out the floor of the house. So I wanted to get that in there by gravity, and that necessitated pushing it down the hill. But you'll see it's about midway, a little more than midway between the 50 and the 100-foot setbacks from the wetland. So from there goes to the tank, from the tank by gravity to the next little box. There's the 1,000-gallon pump chamber. And that's about, the nearest point is about 96 feet. I scaled it from that wetland that was delineated. And we have then a force main ejecting that effluent up the hill to where the leach field is, kind of in that corner where College Highway meets Glendale Road. We were fortunate, we had a really good perk there and plenty of room to situate a leach field large enough to accommodate the 5 bedrooms that the house has. So really the encroachments are between the 50 and 100 foot of the new septic tank and the new pump chamber. And you'll see we've drawn in a sedimentation barrier along that other left side there.
Okay. So that closest corner of the leach field is, I'm just roughly guessing, about 125 feet.
Yep. I think that's a fair guess, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Where is the existing leach field?
Okay, if you go back to that first dotted box that I was talking about, the original septic tank, right below that are 2 little fingers that say existing failed Elgin trench.
Okay.
They were engineered back in the mid-90s, I think, early 90s, before Elgins were even as popular as they are nowadays. But they are in failure, and the plan for them is to leave them in place also. As they dry out, there won't be any real contribution of anything to the soil there.
Okay.
It sort of looks like it's further, like the new plan, the new septic and new leach field is further away from the wetland than the original.
Yes.
Right. So.
Yeah, by quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, quite a bit.
I was going to say, we were really lucky we found nice soil over there and enough room to do that.
Yeah. And that sedimentation barrier that you have drawn in there, is that the lowest edge of that, the edge of that closest to College Highway, that ends where any runoff from the construction of this would not head in towards the wetlands, because I think that hill slopes towards the road more so at that point.
Yeah, that's exactly right. As you go towards the road, there's an incline uphill again by those little pine trees that I drew, 5 of them. It'll grade uphill again. I mean, that's somewhat negotiable if he needs to push it farther than I drew it. That's certainly, certainly doable.
Okay. Yeah, and then I think, George, your positive 2A and 5, negative 3. And those conditions.
Yes.
I'm just those all look pretty standard to what you've been issuing in the past for work like this. Nothing unique.
Nothing out of the ordinary, no.
Okay. Okay. If no one else has any questions, we can make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for the RDA on 68 College Highway.
I'll second that. All right. So all those in favor, Kathleen,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Hazel,
Aye.
and I. Okay. I will, unless somebody else wants to make the motion, I will make a motion to, where's your language here, George? Hang on. To recommend positives 2A and 5, negative 3, with the conditions that George has outlined in his agent's report.
I'll second.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
All right, thanks, Hazel. So all those in favor, Hazel,
Aye.
Kathleen,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
and I. Great, thank you, Barry.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks,
And thanks,
Kristen.
Kristen.
Thank you.
Okay, now next is the continued public hearing for 97 Pomeroy Meadow. And I see that somebody just went from off camera to on camera. So,
Hi, how you doing?
hi, can you just identify yourself and for the meeting?
Yes, my name is Jim Boyle. I'm here representing the owner of 97 Pomeroy Meadow Road.
Great, thanks, Jim. Okay, so yeah, if to bring us back up to speed on this, because it's been a little while here. Let's see. So we initially,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, George.
if I may, this was on the last agenda, but there was no applicant present to address the issue, so the hearing was continued.
Right. And the original RDA that you had outlined, we couldn't act on that because the drought order.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Since then, and now taking that drought status into consideration, George, you are recommending an RDA issued with positives 2A and 5 and a negative 2.
Yes.
And that is until the drought order is lifted?
Yes, I'm going to recommend in a separate correspondence with the applicant that when the drought restrictions are lifted, that they still apply for intermittent stream status.
Okay.
And therefore, they'll take this whole addition to the structure out of jurisdiction.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
So
I did check.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I did check before the meeting, and we are still solidly in significant drought. So
Yes, even with this little bit of rain we're getting here, yes.
didn't make a difference. Yeah.
But I think I was supposed to come to the last meeting. I didn't actually. I apologize. I didn't know I was supposed to be at the meeting and everything. But George had let me know that at this meeting I would need to come and just kind of go over what we were planning on doing.
Yeah, and he had shared the plans or the drawing that you had sent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically on the right side of his house, we're hoping to attach a 12 by 34 addition, and it really wouldn't be going back any further than the existing envelope of the existing house now, and everything. And so when we excavate, you know, and then we'd be framing it up, you know, getting a roof on it. We usually build something like this in a couple months. So from start to finish, probably be a couple months. I think we're going to start in the spring, and stuff like that when conditions are hopefully pretty good and everything. And I mean, basically that's kind of it, as far as what we're going to be doing. So a typical addition, you know, we'll excavate, backfill, you know, sure up all the dirt, and then you know, do our inside outside work, and then basically put everything, you know, the loam back. I'll plant the lawn right away, and get it, you know, to catch. And you know, usually at that time we're putting stuff on the gutters just to make sure it runs by a few feet so the grass can cut or can grow and everything. But that's kind of about it.
Cool. Thank you for talking through that. Yeah, looked at the plans. Looks like a nice little addition.
It's for his mother-in-law.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Does anybody else from the commission have any questions? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I would like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Thanks, Nicole. All those in favor, Nicole?
Aye.
Hazel?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Aye.
Okay. And then I will make a motion to recommend to issue an RDA with positives 2A. Yeah, 2A and 5, sorry, and a -2.
I'll second that motion.
All right. Thank you, Hazel. All those in favor, Hazel?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Aye.
All right. And I.
Thank you guys very much.
All right. Thank you.
Jim, I'll be in touch.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye-bye.
night. Okay. That concludes all of the public hearings for the evening. In regular business, and Kathy had shared some of the signs for the different conservation areas. I know she was hoping to be here tonight but wasn't able to. I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to look at all of them. So I don't know if anybody else has.
I just opened them up. It's only just a few, and they all are very clear, and they all have the same sort of look to them. I like the one with the little dog on it.
Me too. I like them.
I think they look good.
Yeah. I guess my only question was if there were already signs going in the places that those are going. It's like a little thing, but I feel like the font should match. If that is something that's going in a place where a bunch of other signs are. But I think they look good. Straightforward.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
as well that like I'm not sure what other signs are in that area, but they
Yeah, that's like the only little thing just
Mhm.
for cohesiveness, but
Yeah.
because I know they're going in a bunch of different places, so I'm sure some of the places there are not a bunch of signs. There already in some there might be other trail signs, but other than that, I think they look good.
Evan, I can follow up with Kathy when she comes back from Maine to try and get more information on the where they're going.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm scrolling through them right now. I think, yeah, I mean they all look, I mean they're all pretty simple, right? So there's not
Yes.
they all look pretty good. So yeah, I get that's a good call out, Hazel, to just make sure that it's consistent throughout. So yeah, George, if you could, that would be great. Following up with Kathy.
Do you want me to also inform Kathy that it's the consensus of the commission that the signs are good?
Yeah, I had a couple quick notes that I'll pass along.
All right.
But nothing that is crazy, like removing a couple exclamation points just because
Very well.
I don't know. So thank you, George.
Okay.
I don't think we need to vote on, we already voted on purchasing them. This is more of
I think that it's more the Trailblazers running the sign proofs by you, the commission, to make sure
Yeah.
there's no, hey, I don't like this sign, don't do it, or more so than anything else.
yeah. Okay, great. Great. Next on the regular business was the purchase of land on Glendale Road next to SIPTA Farm. I reached out to Mark Cassis. I had hoped that he and I would set a time to chat. We have not, and that's on me, not on Mark. I'll own that. And so that's something that I need to make happen, to understand where open space is coming from and what they know, what their their capabilities are. And then Kathleen, I looked at your treasurer's report, and I know that you had paid some special attention to a couple of those accounts that have been brought up by Chris, and so I still have some questions for her or for the select board on those. But that is my update on that, as lackluster or diminished as it is.
Well, yeah, thanks. And thanks, Evan, for, taking the extra time to meet with Mark Cassis. And when you come up with a time to meet him, I'm happy to try to be part of that too, just so that,
Okay. Oh, right. Because you're a liaison, right?
Yeah. And so I see Mark at the CPC meetings anyways. So,
okay.
Because he represents open space there.
Right.
And I think he might be vice chair of CPC as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people, lots of hats.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I would be happy to also be part of that meeting. So, but yeah, I wanted to get that treasurer report out to you all. And I think George and I also ran into each other today at the town hall. And yeah, like Christine Fowles did send us all, just to remind us all that she did send us all, information about the Hazel Young and the Conant wildlife, and I actually need to review that again, that legal information. But George, correct me if I'm wrong, but you sort of indicated that there's not much restrictions really in those accounts. And actually, I was looking, the Hazel Young one of the only things it's been used for is the invasive species treatment. I guess it was on the Hazel Young property, but yeah, they just sort of seem like untouched. But yeah, I personally need to look back at Christina's email to refresh, because there was a lot of legal information about those two properties. But I just wanted to quickly get out the information because I believe in the last Zoom meeting we had, someone I was discussing with, I can't remember who, mentioned the numbers of those balances, and that it seemed like a much higher amount. Yeah, and that's exactly. And that's what I was trying to, I need to, so maybe you and I can discover this information together. But yeah, it sounded like there was maybe there was operating funds as part of those, and then a total fund, which I quite frankly I don't understand. So okay, so let's plan to look into those, Kathleen, and then because if there is more than what we think there is, then that certainly makes it easier for us to go to CPC. But that's, I don't know if anybody else had anything. Question. Yeah, George.
Just for the commission's edification, for the last week or so, I've been dealing with a couple of gentlemen out of the Boston area who want to put mobile homes there.
Yikes.
Okay. How big is that? I can look that up. That's interesting. Thank you for that that tidbit. Okay.
It's 2.4 acres, Evan, just so you know.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. All right. Well, we don't need to belabor this anymore, since there's really not that much that we have right now to go on. So, Kathleen, let's plan to maybe team up to tackle this together instead of from two fronts.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. Moving on, and one of the other items on the agenda tonight was this idea of finding a vice chair. And I know Brad is not here tonight, so I think this is something that we'd probably want all members to discuss. But that being said, if somebody's really eager and wants to raise their hand, please go for it. I will be honest. There's been a few changes to my day job. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to do some of these other tasks that are coming up. So, I mean, this is not foreshadowing saying that I'm leaving anytime soon, right? Like, just got here and I'm enjoying myself. So but having some help would would be great here. But that's me requesting help, short of getting down in, on a knee. Yeah.
Well, Evan, yeah, you've been doing a really great job in like such a short amount of time you've been here. So yeah, I think you really definitely deserve advice.
Thanks.
I feel sometimes a little spread thin between like treasure and then like the CPC, and then but like I feel like glad to do all those things. I'm not complaining. It's more just like, okay, this is the piece that I can do. And then as far as like vice, I'm hesitant just because I feel like yeah, just the tech stuff actually, to be honest, even though like we're all the same generation, just like making sure to, I don't know, it's just like one extra thing. And if I don't know, that responsibility is like,
no, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe we can all think about it, and then unless there's someone here that really, wants to volunteer, but maybe when we are all present, including Brad. So hopefully we can find someone by next meeting.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Unless Nicole or Hazel want to say anything.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I'll probably have the next meeting would be good, but I've been thinking about it. But yeah, my concern is just being available as well due to my job, even though I've been furloughed for what feels like an eternity. That's
Sorry.
probably my only concern, but I have been thinking about it, and I will continue to think about it until we meet again for all of us to be here.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. And and if it is something that you want to do, you certainly bring a lot more expertise and knowledge to this than me and my background do. So that would be appreciated. Okay. Then moving on to the treasurer's report. Kathleen, thanks for getting that out to us ahead of time. That
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, apologies that it came out today. So I'm sure it was like during everyone's work day, but I think so again, it was interesting to know about the Hazel Young Memorial being 11,600 something, and then the Conant Wildlife was 40,900 something, because that was we were a little unsure last time. And then so the big changes are conservation agent wages. That's basically done. That first account, if you're looking at it, there's the remaining of 112 in there, which I'm sure the town will just reallocate. And so Bradley from town accounting, he's the town accountant, Bradley, if you guys don't know him. He has said that they're like, to pay George, the agent, they're taking the funds, the 972 for each of his payrolls from the conservation revolving, it's aka the revolving fund. But since that's a revolving fund and it's a certain amount of money given to us and it's dwindling, he did say that they're gonna reallocate money into that. They'll just have to be like at a town meeting, I believe. And I guess I highlighted two things in red: the Concom account. It's literally called the Concom account, and then the wetlands protection account. I highlighted those in red because anything that's revenue has not shown up yet in the town's reports. So everything that's wetlands protection is like is a pretty big number at this point, 13,000, because a few months back, if you remember, George advised that we use our wetlands protection account for the place where all our filing fees go to, all the money that's incoming. And so that account has gone up. It's now $13,298.46. Whereas the Concom account is highlighted in red, because that is very unclear to me where we're at. I know, though, I was worried because I was like, are we in a negative? I was emailing Bradley. Bradley, he's like the fastest person I emailed. So he got back to me like right away. And that was last week. And he said, no, you're not in negative. It's just because they haven't like updated all the revenue. So basically, that's my best guesstimate of where we're at. Is like 2,000. There's this other piece that George is going to find out is the Connor. You know, that I sent you an email today too. It was some sort of line item that I don't understand what it was. Connor Real Estate. Does that ring a bell at all, George? What that could have been?
I don't remember, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was like
I've got to talk to Brad and look up, see if I
Okay.
have something in the file to find out what that was.
okay. I hope that email was clear, George. And I just sort of was like, I want to talk to George. I want to talk to you before I bring it to Bradley's attention. Before, am I missing something? There was an expense that was, I don't have a copy of, and so that's why that's in red. So, anyways, yeah, that's where we're at. I don't know if there's any questions.
Yeah, you said that. So yeah, just a couple. Thank you. This is helpful. So there's the Concom, and then there's the expenses account.
Yeah.
And which one did you say that the George's, once the agent wages goes to zero,
Mhm.
we're pulling from?
It's already being pulled from. As you can see, it's kind of weird the way it's printed. If you guys are
Payroll
open.
right there.
Yeah, it says payroll. Yeah, it's
I
already
got
been pulled from there. So it's, but
And
yeah, sorry.
No, sorry. I guess is that the right account to pull from? I thought we could pull from, or we're supposed to pull from, the wetlands protection.
I know. So that's what George has been arguing for. Bradley says that we're pulling from there. George, I think the next thing that we need to do is talk to the Treasury Department, because they're the ones that would be the ones. I need their report. I'm usually just working with Bradley because I'm the one that's signing anything that's being deposited. But as far as Treasury goes, that's something that you're bringing to the treasurers. And you do a great job giving me the copies of those. But that's why the wetlands protection account is in red, because I've just been doing that calculation. I did not get that from the town. So I want to know what the wetland protection account is, and also like, why do we have so many accounts? And you said that to me, George, before.
I asked that question 2 years ago.
I know. I don't understand.
I have never
So weird.
received an answer.
And from a like treasurer, being the treasurer of Concom, and also being like, this is the first time I was a treasurer, it's very confusing because it's like going in this way, coming out that way. That's why I thought we were in negative.
Yeah.
So it's very confusing.
I know the statute requires that the commission set up an account to deposit the filing fees, etc. And they're the only ones who can remove funds from that. Why we have two is, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to.
Yeah.
And
so who's it in the Treasury Department that I should talk to, and maybe you too, George? Is it Jen?
I would suggest when you want to do that, see if you and I can do it together.
I think so too. Yeah, because
We should talk to either Angela, the assistant treasurer, or the temporary treasurer, Megan. She's
Angela.
filling in and she knows what she's doing. So
Okay.
see if we can get to the bottom of this.
Okay. So unfortunately, for this week, I might be able to meet Thursday, but I don't know what your Thursday looks like. I might be able to go in on Thursday, but we can also talk offline too.
Okay.
Yeah. It might be a stretch for me to make it, but what time are you there till on Thursday actually until?
Was that a question?
Yeah, sorry. If you guys tell me real quick, what time are you in the office until on Thursday?
Thursday, I'll probably be in there until at least 11.
Okay. I could maybe come in.
I can
Yeah.
stay till 12 if I know if that helps you.
Okay. I can maybe make it by 11:30, but I don't know.
Do you want me to check with Megan and see what time she has available?
Yeah, possibly 11:30 Thursday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Kathleen, I had a similar question as Evan, just in terms of George's wages, knowing that there's questions about that Concom account, and since it seems low, like wanting to make sure that that won't.
Yeah, so George, I think I did it like, what did I say? I was trying to also make sure that information is, yeah, so Bradley from Town Accountant says a town meeting is to be planned. So a town meeting article will transfer more money into that account. So it sounds like they're working on it. But that number, again, I don't know if that number is exact either, because yeah, that's why I kept it in red. That was my best calculation, because there's a lot of things, the town has these reports, and it actually takes them a while to update like their revenue and expenditures.
Usually a couple of months behind.
Yeah, like several months behind a lot of times. So it's a weird thing to work with, to be quite honest. But
yeah, well, thank you for putting this all together, because it sounds very confusing just kind of from the side. So I appreciate you going through all of it.
Well, I appreciate you guys looking at it too, and like making sure it looks, with your questions too. So if you see any flaws or anything, let me know too.
One of the other, and I was searching for it while we were chatting about that, and I can share this with folks if they want. Kathleen, you had sent us, when was this? This was, I think, in a while back, a description of each account and some notes on what they can and can't be used for. Which I noticed, the wetlands protection, there's a note, be careful you spending from this account.
Yeah, that was Art Lawrence's.
Yeah. But I guess one of the, like some of these accounts, as we, when we look at them and when the town looks at them, and part of my thought process is going into this conversation here is thinking about, any land purchase in the future, near future or long term. When you look at all the accounts, there's just, when you pull it all together, there's a significant amount of money in some of these, right? Significant being, subjective, but if we use some of these, like endowments completely, the Wetlands Protection Fund has very limited uses. Our revolving fund is pretty minimal, right? The Red Brook Estates account can only be used there, which George, side note, I have a question. I know we were going to do a drone.
Yes, it's supposed to be done this month. I'll check and see what the status.
Oh, awesome. So one of the other questions that, and Kathleen, this is really isn't a treasurer's report question, but more of,
Yeah.
I actually don't know who it would be for, maybe George. But the forestry account, knowing that we may be spending more money in the coming months than we're used to. It was my understanding when Dan was still here that the forestry account is made up of two sources. One, the cutting of trees on town property, the whatever we get for the wood that is harvested for timber, but then also essentially a tax on other properties that do forest management. And George just got up and walked away because he knew I was about to ask him a question. No, George, do you know anything else on that? Is a stump tax?
No, I don't know.
Okay. I can dig into bylaws and stuff. Do you know where that might live? Information about that?
What do you mean?
If whether or not our town does or does not, or has not implemented a stump tax in the past, and whether or not that's something that we could continue to enforce going forward as a source of funds.
I think I'm going to have to talk to the town clerk to see when it was originally established and if there's a rationale why
Mm-hmm.
in the establishment. And then I'm going to have to talk to the treasurer.
Okay. I mean, I know other towns have something similar to that, right? And
in my experience, and I worked for 5 municipalities, this is the only one that has it.
Okay. So when there's two towns that I was where I grew up that I know have one. So that's where my where my background came. So I had assumed that this was more common than that, but so that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I guess where I'm going with this is if there's places where we can generate funds beyond some of these automatic deposits that happen, whether it's the revolving account or the Red Brook Estates, or waiting for another grant or somebody to donate. It would be great to find other ways where we can build up some of our accounts so that for multiple reasons, right? Especially for land purchases. So
I will look.
Sorry. What's that? Okay. Sorry, that was a very long-winded explanation and from me.
No, it's good. I think it's like we're kind of like at that point, and I think sort of the opportunities here because of that Glendale Road property, and all sorts of different stakeholders being like, so do you guys have this money? Like, are you guys interested in it? Like, so
right.
Like really, we're really able to look at these accounts, which seem, me being the person on the Concom for the longest bit of time, that really shows how we are all very new here. And trying to understand what these all mean. Like even in my notes, it said, Hazel Young Memorial Fund used for Hazel Young projects, and that was Art's direction, but that was his understanding of it, right? But
Right.
the Conant Wildlife Fund, just endowment, period. Like, so
Yeah.
wrapping our brains around that, and like I know Christine Fowles was also digging into that. So I don't know.
and one of the other things that I've neglected to mention as I was just kind of rambling on there was, George and I talked about this a little bit, I don't know, maybe 3-4 months ago. But we have a lot of Japanese knotweed,
Mm-hmm.
but it's incredibly invasive, and it kind of chokes things out. And if you cut it, the rhizomes will spread it's like up to 60 feet or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, you cut it, it grows faster.
What's that?
When you cut it, it grows faster.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And so I know that we could use there's an account, the mitigation funds account was from one of the Eversource projects or something, fines for around that.
Mm-hmm.
That's also something on my mind. And
Definitely.
I've actually, George, this is another something else to add to your to-do list. Do you have a contact at the Holyoke Waterworks?
No.
Okay.
But I'll try and get one through Southampton's water department.
Okay. Yeah, I remember a couple years ago they were I remember I was walking my dog on Foamer by the reservoir and they were treating the side of the road there because they had done some forest management, so there was a lot of light open up, and I think they were concerned that the knotweed was going to grow into deeper into the woods there. So I know that they were treating that with something, and from what I gathered talking with them, it's a really small window in the life cycle of that plant in which you can treat it. So I'm curious, and I can also find a way to reach out to someone there, but I'm curious to know if it was successful and how much it cost and who did it.
Yeah, Evan, in my past life, I treated a lot of knotweed in my day.
Oh.
But
Okay.
I will say that at Mass Audubon, on our sanctuary in East Hampton, they recently applied for an NRCS grant for treating knotweed, specifically along the oxbow there. And they came and they did it. They just kind of whipped and it looked great. Like we just drove by the other day and it knocked it back really fast. So I don't know. I can figure out like who they ended up hiring for that, if that's helpful. Because that obviously was someone probably local in terms of crews. And then use the funding from the grant to hire them.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. If there's anything you could find out from that'd be great. And I mean, this is just one small, maybe not small, but just one issue that we're seeing. There's others.
When I started with the Concom, I felt like there was a lot of talk about invasive control, and they know they use Ruby Environmental quite a bit. But I would be interested to know from some of the former members, like who they advise, and like I know like Manhan is like one of those ones with a lot of invasives, and that had a lot of. But so I don't know. I'm not really sure, like, where to begin. I'm sure there's invasives and a lot of our, and then some with less, right? So like, I would say Clearwater is great. Like, I don't really see a lot of invasive problems there. But yeah, I don't know I don't even know all the properties actually in our town. I don't think I've been on all of them, but I know there's ones that have more issues than others.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks. That was a really long treasurer's report. So, sorry.
Sorry. One more thing. George, you left this for me to grab, and it says Southampton grant tracking. and I'm not really sure about where to start with this. Did you hand, like, in the mailbox? I'm looking at it. Southampton grant tracking, Conservation Commission, Mass Trails grant. So is this just information for us? No, it says an amount and then a matching amount required. And the
Yeah,
deadline
that's
was,
informational.
we don't have this money, do we? Mass Trails
No.
grant money? No.
No.
Okay, thank you.
You muted, Kathleen.
I see the deadline was last December. Yes. Okay, so this is just information purely. Okay, thanks, George. That was my last question.
Okay. And now the acceptance of the minutes. Hazel, thank you for sending those.
Yes, sorry I sent them so late.
No.
I had
No
to
apologies.
edit them because some parts of the last meeting were very informational. And I
Yes.
missed some, but
Thank you.
you are welcome. But yeah, if anyone has any more edits, I can put those in and resend it all at once.
Yeah, I have not had a chance to read through them. They're very thorough. Thank you. So yeah, I guess we can vote on accepting these in the next meeting, and then get these to George to post.
No problem.
Cool. All right. Any other items that can't wait until the November 3rd meeting?
Evan, it can wait, but do you want to take up the issue of a vice chair?
I think it will. We'll wait till Brad's back. We have
Okay.
a full house. Yeah, I think
That makes sense.
I've put my my elevator pitch out there twice now, so we'll wait. A couple more weeks is doable. It's fine.
No problem.
But yeah, thank you.
But in the meantime, Evan, like, although there's no like formal advice, like, please reach out with things. Like, it was helpful when you're like, oh, do you want to meet up for this specific, like,
Yeah.
I know that's like extra work you have to do, but like, I think all like Nicole, Hazel, and I, like Brad, like, we're all happy to, help where we can.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now I have more free time. So if there's any like things that need to happen in a more like expedited manner than you can do, I'm available.
Awesome. Thank you. I will take you up on that.
Or like, even if it's like, I know you've been to some of the site visits, like you could even just email like, oh, I'm going on this day, just who else wants to join? Like, that's fine too. So like two sets of eyeballs can do it,
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things, right? Is getting getting eyes on some of on all of the locations as best as possible. I've made it out to a handful in my. Generally, it's all there. Most of my visits to sites have been pretty last minute. But yeah, that I think if we can, going forward, make sure that at least one person is the handoff. I think if we can make sure that at least one person is going to one of the, going to each of the sites to just confirm, that's a huge help. But I will probably ask for help with some of the this SIPTA farm property purchase.
Has anyone been out to the Zipta farm? I
have. Well, not in a little while. It's like before my wife and I had our son, we used to go there with the dog to the conservation spot with our dog.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I've been there, but I haven't been. I'll do it this week. I will stop and kind of look at the property adjacent to it to kind of even just have it like Marla Hank, who is the chair for the very long time, decades, I think, for Concom. She'd always say going to the site is really important because it's like, even if you look at the plan and memorize and all that, it's just like going to the site and laying like eyeballs on it. It's like, you just know more of what's going on. And I've been, I've been guilty of not really going out to everything lately. And, the weeks are just flying by and I'm like, wow, I need to.
Yes.
I'm going to try to also make it out to more site visits as well.
Yeah. The only thing that I will point out, because I feel like if I don't, George is about to, if we are planning a site visit, we do have to be mindful that if 4 of us are there, or potentially in the future, if 3 of us are there, it's a quorum, and therefore it's a public.
It's a public meeting that has to be posted.
Right.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So like, I did forget that. So thanks for pointing that out. And at one point, like we got these badges to show that we're town people. Does everyone have those?
Oh, no.
Like I had that, like to be like, no, I am a Concom person.
I don't, but that would be useful because that makes sense. Because otherwise,
I know
there's no way. It's like you'll just have to take my word for it.
Right. Yeah. That would be yeah. If we had anything like that, that would be helpful.
George, have you heard of that at all in the town? Like, I mean, obviously you have a badge at the town, but like for volunteers.
No, but I can inquire about that because that's a legitimate concern if you're going to go out on the site.
Yeah.
I will check with Judy in the town hall and get back to you on that as soon as I can.
Yeah, it'd be good. Good for everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Worst case, I can ask my 5-year-old son to draw C Chuck 1.
There you go. Amazing.
Okay. Any other items folks want to bring up? Great. Okay. Then I would like to make a motion to close this meeting at 7:22 p.m. tonight.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All right. All those in favor? Hazel?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
And aye. Great.
Good night, kids.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody. Great
Thank you.
meeting.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.